Preview.
Situational Awareness, Knowing How to Live in the Moment, by Richard Sadler. Accidents, near misses and safety issues are favorites of popular media outlets, and there are certainly concerns under constant scrutiny within the diving community. While it's never fun to think about what can go wrong when diving, it's important to study cases where things do go awry. In doing so, we learn that often the problems have one thing in common. Bad things happen when people are unaware of their surroundings. Known previously as being in the zone, centered or focused, situational awareness, SA, is a heightened state of consciousness that one achieves when all relevant data is processed and followed by comprehension and appropriate action. Training is not enough. Preparation, practice, and even checklists are not enough. Divers must be constantly aware of their surroundings and be able to process what present circumstances mean and be ready to make any necessary adjustments. Consider what can happen when situation input is ignored. The following event happened on August 17, 2006. Aboard the US Coast Guard icebreaker Healy, 2 crew members prepared for an underwater ice dive evolution for practice and familiarization. The officer was not current as a diver and the enlisted diver was not experienced in under-ice operations. Among other oversights, they were overweighted and their dry suits and BC inflators were not connected, but the dive proceeded. In all, the final Coast Guard report listed more than 30 errors of all types, resulting in 2 deaths, loss of command, court-martials, and ruined careers. Often, dive accidents and deaths share a common theme: loss of situational awareness. Most accidents result from a small series of variances from a safe procedure. In almost all cases, the accident could have been avoided at any point if the variance had been noted, its implications understood, and an appropriate response implemented. Situational awareness is not unique to diving. It has been studied for decades, not only by diving institutions like Divers Alert Network, but by other entities such as the US Air Force, firefighters, and industrial engineers. In more than 40 years of study, several fundamental aspects of situational awareness have been developed, and they have been coalesced into 3 levels of awareness: perception, comprehension, and projection. So let's have a look at how these apply to divers. Level 1, or perception. The safe diver must be aware of relevant data. An obvious example is depth. If the sole focus of a diver is maintaining a pre-planned depth, but the critical value of gas reserve is ignored, then an out-of-air emergency would result. The solution? Aggressively seek information relevant to your situation. Run an internal checklist, not items or procedures, and ask yourself, am I aware? Am I missing anything? Does the situation feel different in any way? Level 2, comprehension. Continue the example, with depth and gas reserve being perceived, that is from the Level 1 analysis, but that information can become meaningful only when it is placed in the proper context. It is not enough to acknowledge that you only have 50 bar left. To achieve comprehension, details like where your buddy is, how far away you are from the boat, the current strength, safety stop plans, all of these give meaning to the remaining air supply and should prompt appropriate actions. Level 3, projection. Now that the data is comprehended, you are ready to take the appropriate action. This ability to project is the mark of experts in all fields. You've noticed your remaining air supply and comprehended its meaning in the given circumstances. So the action now has direction. Whether this means making immediate buddy contact or initiating an ascent, or starting to swim back to the boat. All of these will depend on how you've processed the data and the particular variables of the situation. The thought process for achieving situational awareness can be broken down into 3 steps: perception, comprehension, and projection. Or, put simplistically, input, process, output. Conceptually clean and well-founded on empirical and experimental data, these steps are nonetheless a challenge to implement on a consistent basis. After all, we are human, and with that comes cognitive limitations. But with practice and conscious effort, divers of every level and ability can improve their diving safety.